Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. Expecting about 30,000 here tonight at Safeco Field, and they should get plenty of Red Sox fans. About 40,000 anticipated for tomorrow night, and that'll be the Major League debut of Rafael Devers. And the weather could not be more spectacular here as you look at the now 20-year-old, soon-to-be 21-year-old Devers. Just promoted to the big league club. The Red Sox have not made a trade for a third baseman. Right now, that'll be in his hands beginning tomorrow. Here's a look at the Red Sox lineup, brought to you by Toyota's website for deals, buyatoyota.com. Mookie Betts to start things off. Andrew Benintendi in left field. He was not scheduled to play tonight. Dustin Pedroia at second, Hanley Ramirez at first, Jackie Bradley in center. Chris Young is the DH. He also is not in the original lineup. Devin Marrero will be at shortstop. Xander Bogaerts is under the weather tonight. That's why he is not playing. Christian Vasquez does the catching, and Brock Holt is at third base, hitting ninth. Facing a tough customer here in the left-hander, James Paxton, a 28-year-old from British Columbia. 9-3 with an ERA of 3.05.
This kid's legit. I mean, I like how he throws. He's a big kid. He throws hard, 93, 94 miles an hour with a fastball, good curveball, really good control. I mean, he's a formidable opponent.
And he really has been their best pitcher so far here in 2017. Defensively, here's how they support him tonight. On the infield, Seager, Segura, Cano, and Valencia. Gamble, Heredia, and Haniger in the outfield. And Zunino does the catching for Paxton. The umpires are brought to you by Toyota's website for deals, buyatoyota.com. Carlos Torres behind the plate. Dana DeMuth at first base, Paul Nart at second, and Ben May will make the decisions at third base. And we're available. This telecast can be heard in Spanish by selecting the SAP button on your TV remote. SAP presented by Toyota. Visit compara2toyota.com to see Toyota deals not seen on TV. The weather's just delightful here. Although it's been a long time since it has rained in Seattle, and we're not kidding about that. 76 degrees and sunny. It's been just perfect all day.
Yeah, they said it was been like 40 days or 45 days since they've had any kind of significant rain, which is very odd out here.
Yeah, after a very rainy winter.
But man, what a beautiful day.
Oh, slice of heaven here. Well, here comes Mookie Betts. Hitting .277 with 17 home runs and 61 runs batted in. And in for a called strike. Paxton has had a great month. He is 4-0 here in July. ERA of 2.05.
I'd take that month, and I know everybody that I ever played with would take that month every month.
Coming off an outstanding game on Wednesday at Houston. He beat the Astros 4-1, allowing just 1 run in 7 innings. And that against an outstanding lineup.
Houston does have an outstanding lineup, and if you can shut them down at any time, you've done a great job.
And that's going to be in there for strike 3 as he came in with the curveball to fan Mookie Betts. 1 man out.
Well, we did take a strikeout right there, but you know, Mookie's not going to expand the zone up top. He didn't think that was a strike. You know, it was a breaking ball coming in. I don't blame him for not striking or not swinging at that.
So 1 away, and that'll send up Benintendi, who's just going to watch tonight, at least for most of the game, but he's playing in a starting capacity in left field. And he'll take ball 1.
Now he gets to watch closer.
Yeah, right.
A whole lot closer.
And against a very tough lefty. He's made 2 career starts against the Red Sox. He's 1-0 with an ERA of 0.56.
Well, he's starting to show a tendency right now of starting everybody down and away. Doesn't really come inside. I like guys that really throw inside, that dominate the inside corner.
2-1.
I know I spoke about that in Anaheim. You know, David Price does it well. Chris Sale does it well. Both of them are power pitchers from the left side. This kid should be doing the exact same thing, really. But if he's trying to establish something away early in the game and then teach them something in later.
Let's fall behind 3-1 in Benintendi. Dustin Pedroia on deck. Pedroia sitting out yesterday, getting a little rest. Slicer foul. Benintendi has shown the ability to take ball 4. He's walked 43 times here in his rookie year, second most by a Red Sox rookie since 2000, trailing only Dustin Pedroia in 2007. Petey broke in, and that is going to be strike 3. Back-to-back Ks, both looking against Paxton.
Well, you know, he's never seen this kid before. I mean, he has nothing on him. Nothing to go on. So this is, you know, basically his first AB against the guy. So as nasty as he's been and good as he's been, that's a tough thing to do.
Here's Pedroia now. Dustin hitting .311, goes after the first pitch. Now he has seen Paxton before.
Yes, he has. But he's 0 for 6.
Ramirez on deck, and the 0-1.
I'd like to get Petey back in that form where he was, you know, left Boston, where he was really hot.
Yeah, the 9-game hitting streak come to an end on Friday.
Well, hopefully the day of rest yesterday will help him get back in the groove where he was at.
He wound up going 1 for 7 in Anaheim. John Farrell talking about the need to rest him now at 34 years old. Even if Pedroia isn't in love with the idea, the 2-1 evens up the count.
Well, that foul ball wasn't very far away.
We might get one tonight, Mike.
I hope so. Did you bring your glove?
Did not. I have you.
I'll have to fold up my tie and pad my hand.
Here's the 2-2. Got a piece of that to stay alive. 90-mile-an-hour cutter.
Well, that's a good piece of fouling the ball off right there. And he just watched Mookie Betts get struck out by that high breaking ball looking thing when he was standing at the top on the top step. So, you know, Petey's not afraid to take a hack at it.
And he lines it to center field, closing Heredia. He'll make the play. Well struck by Pedroia. Nothing to show for it. Paxton retires the Red Sox 1-2-3, and it's Erod to the hill tonight here in Game 1. First inning, here come the Mariners and their lineup, brought to you by your New England Chevy dealers. Gene Segura is having a big year, 328. Valencia at first, Robinson Cano at second base. Then it's Cruz, Seager, and Haniger. Gamble in left field, Heredia in center, and Zunino doing the catching. Up against the left-hander Eduardo Rodriguez, the Red Sox starter, presented by New England Audi dealers. He's 4-2, 3.66 ERA.
I'm excited to watch him pitch. I mean, I've watched him on TV from afar, and he does not look like. First time I watched him, his motion. Of course, I break that down first, but he doesn't look like he throws hard, and the ball just flies out of his hand. It's mid-90s. I'm like, this guy's got zero effort, and he's got maximum velocity. That's amazing. And then I love what John said earlier. He's slowly going deeper and deeper into the game. It's fantastic, getting back in shape where he needs to be.
Got off to such a nice start before the knee injury. Segura takes up top for a ball. He returned on July 17th after missing more than a month to that knee problem.
I'm not sure what the knee problem was, but I know they don't go away quickly. And for this guy, he's being a warrior. If it's bothering him at all, you don't see it.
And the word is it is.
Well, yeah, I think you're right. I didn't talk to anybody about it, but if it is bothering him, that's a big league pro player right there. He's going to work through injury. A lot of these guys that are standing on that diamond right there, the only time they felt really, really good was day one.
Yeah. Well, he's pitched well against Seattle in his young career. 1-0 is 0.73 earned run average. And that just missed. He wanted that call, did not get it from Carlos Torres.
Wow. He seemed a little lax on the strike zone for Paxton. A little tighter on Erod right here.
Valencia on deck. And the 3-2. He spoils that one back out of play.
Well, like you were saying, this guy he's a great leadoff hitter. He's hitting 328. That's pretty amazing. He's seeing a lot of pitches right now too.
Well, number 2 in the American League in batting average. He has 31 multi-hit games, and yet he missed 30 games because of a hamstring injury. He's going to take downstairs, and he is a threat to go after taking ball 4. Red Sox defense is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. On the infield, Brock Holt is at third, Dev Marrero at short, Dustin Pedroia and Hanley Ramirez on the right side. Outfield of Benintendi, Bradley, and Betts. Initially, Brock Holt was going to be in left field. Vasquez doing the catching of Eduardo Rodriguez.
Well, with Xander being a little under the weather, we have some really versatile guys, and we'll cover that.
So Brock Holt picking up third base tonight. That'll send up Valencia 269 with 11 homers. And looking at a strike. That injury that Eduardo sustained, of course, nothing new for him. It's that dislocation of the kneecap, which continues to be an issue that the Red Sox believe, and Eduardo probably understands, is going to require surgery at some point.
Yeah, and that'll take him out of the lineup for a while. I'm sure he'll try to battle through it for the rest of the year. If it gets too painful, he may miss a start. They may give him an extra spot in the rotation just to take a week off, let the inflammation or whatever happen get out of there, and then he may have it taken care of in the offseason.
And the Red Sox did like the way the ball came out of his hand for long stretches of that start on July 17th against Toronto. He had 8 strikeouts,
which is awesome.
Over 5 into third. And he puts away Valencia. He gets him to swing and miss for strikeout number 1.
Well, he's elevating the ball. Ball looks good coming into that right-hander right there. He just can't lay off. He was looking to go deep right there. A little head tilt. Like, I'm going to go deep right here.
So 1 gone for Robinson Cano. Comes in with a 4-game hitting streak. Cano named to the American League All-Star team for the 8th time, and he won the MVP award in the Midsummer Classic with a 10th inning home run. 3rd Mariner to win it, to win that MVP. The other 2 were Ken Griffey Jr. and Ichiro.
What's not too bad if you're a Mariner.
Sure.
Dang. It's hard. I know he was a Yankee for a long time, but he's such a nice guy. I saw him, said hi to him behind the batting cage today, and he's a fantastic guy. He's got a smile on his face. He loves just playing the game. He really is. He's just a big old kid.
It was 2 for 13 against the Sox in the series earlier this year, and he's going to take a strike at 93.
And that's right there, just a little bit out of the zone, and Carlos is expanding that zone for both pitchers on the outside half.
And I saw Cano shaking his head, but in there for a strike. He's hit 19 homers, hitting .274. Those are his numbers against the Red Sox in his career. Always been a very tough out.
Yes, he is a tough out. I can attest to that.
He can wear a pitching staff out. And the 0-2 from the left-hander. He struck him out. Back-to-back Ks by Erod. And every time a Red Sox pitcher strikes out a Mariner batter, Lexus will donate $50 to the Greater Boston Food Bank.
I think one thing that helped him get Cano out right there, it was a slide step. He just kind of, changed up his rhythm a little bit. Slide step, quick pitch. I mean, it's not much quicker than what it has been, but it just seems quicker because you just mix in a slide step.
So after the walk, back-to-back Ks, and now Nelson Cruz stepping in, the DH. He's had an excellent year, 286, 20 homers, and 75 runs batted in already.
That's bringing some boys in.
That's number 1 in the American League. It's a high fly ball to right on the move. Betts heading for the corner. Mookie will run out of real estate.
And the thing that helps him drive in so many runs is the guy that's on base right now, Segura. He gets on base. He sets the table, gives these guys a chance to have an RBI.
Cruz, long-time fearsome slugger. 2 down, a man on. No score in the first. And the 0-1. Marrero will underhand toss there for out number 3, and that will do it for Seattle. They will strand 1. No score after an inning. Low score after an inning. Mike Timlin, Dave O'Brien, and Jemai Webster alongside. Red Sox making their second stop on this 6-game West Coast swing. After dropping 2 out of 3 to the Angels, Hanley Ramirez swinging away on the first pitch, pops it up toward the seats, and Valencia can't get to it. Time for our unlimited baseball break, brought to you by T-Mobile. James Paxton has been lights out in July. 4 wins, a 2.05 ERA, and 2 career starts against the Red Sox. He's allowed 1 run over 16 innings.
Man, tell you what, we got a We got to solve this puzzle. That'd be a good one to solve. He is a large man.
Yep, 6'4", about 225, 28 years old. And born in Canada.
Ladner, BC.
Did he offer? He did not, according to Dana DeMuth. So 1 ball and 1 strike on Hanley. 256, 16 home runs. Hit one yesterday in Anaheim.
And that was a loud home run,
wasn't it?
It was loud.
That resonated around the Big A. That shook the Big A.
Shook the Big A.
How about one of the real oddities yesterday? Rick Porcello, I thought, pitched a really fine game. He allows 3 home runs, all of them lead-off home runs in an inning.
Yeah, that was really strange. I mean, it was just, guys, for whatever reason, guessed correctly, and he missed his spot just a little bit. Ball carried on out.
2-1 off the end of the bat. Valencia on to Paxton for the out. So 1 away. Jackie Bradley will be next. Ace Ticket is Boston's trusted source for Red Sox tickets. From bleachers to boxes, Ace Ticket has the lowest prices to games at Fenway, all backed with a 200% guarantee. Treat yourself or someone special with tickets to a game. Visit aceticket.com now or call 1-800-MY-SEATS.
Valencia almost messed that play up right there, throwing the ball right behind Paxton.
Yeah, not a perfect lead. 1 away. Jackie hitting out of the 5 slot tonight. 264 with 12 home runs. Bases empty and 1 down here in the top of the 2nd.
I do like how he attacks the ball. I mean, if he sees something he likes, he attacks it.
Mariners know that he attacks it because he has 13 extra base hits in his last 13 games against them. He's hitting .367 with 4 home runs in that span. He's had a couple of the best games of his career against the Mariners.
Well, guys seem comfortable against one team. I don't know why, but somebody could just be. He could be the Mariner killer. I mean, it's just doesn't matter who they throw or how they get it done. He's just going to get his hits.
Swinging a miss, strike 3. 3rd strikeout for Paxton. He is serving early notice that he's going to be very hard to hit tonight.
Well, this is a pitch that just looks good and then just gets out of the zone. I mean, that's just a good slider. Down and away.
2 down for Chris Young. .249, 5 home runs for Young. And he'll look at a strike. Chris went 3 for 9 with a home run in the recent series against Toronto. And he pops that one up, and Segura's there in shallow left. That's a fast inning for Paxton. Once again, he retires the Sox in order. July. When you make a donation of gently used professional clothing at any Men's Warehouse, you help men and women look their best as they re-enter the workforce. Learn more at nationalsuitdrive.com. It's going to be a while until the sun sets here tonight.
It always is. In the middle of summer, I pitched up here, played for the Mariners. Beautiful city, awesome. My son was here with us, and we lived over in Bellevue. We had to put aluminum foil on our windows so he would be able to go to sleep.
No kidding.
Yeah, because the sun was up till like 10:30.
Yeah, it takes forever here. It's actually one of the really charming things about this city in the summertime. A swing and a miss by Seager.
Yeah.
Not if you're trying to get a little one to bed. You know.
No, that's never fun. But they have a great evening. You know, you can go out and sit by the water or go for a walk or whatever you want to do. So it's awesome.
0-1 to Seager. Off the outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. You got a chance when you got back into town, and you know the city very well. Do some walking around.
I did.
You know, get a little sightseeing in. You did a couple of touristy things.
Sure. You know, I didn't get a chance to do all that stuff when I was playing. You know, you just don't go out. I walked down to Pike Market and had a great time, and picked up some stickers that my daughter wants to have. We got a cornhole game at home. We put stickers on the boards, so so I bought a couple of those.
And the Pike Market is where they throw the fish.
Yeah, they have the big salmon toss, and then beautiful flowers. My wife loves the flowers that are here. You can get a bouquet of flowers.
And a tag to dead away center field. Jackie Bradley already turning around. It's sailing, and it's going to it. A home run for Seager, number 14. And that'll put the Mariners on the board, 1-0. Well, this guy just seems to kill the Red Sox.
Well, he's got a really good swing, and I mean, he's a great hitter. I mean, what are you going to do? But you got to attack him. He's hitting 256, which is not bad. But man, he put a charge into that ball right there. Good balance on his swing. He just went straight through it. Great release of the hands right there.
Well, he's been swinging a good bat since the All-Star break, hitting around 320.
Yeah, that ball's just dead straight away center. Jackie does his best Spider-Man, but he can't get that one.
And sends up Mitch Haniger, the right fielder. He's a rookie. Haniger reached base safely in his first 25 consecutive games at the top of the season.
Wow.
To the shortstop, Marrero. And he'll gun him down. So 1 away here in the second inning. RBI Baseball 2017 returns with fast-paced pick-up-and-play Major League action. Get RBI Baseball today for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and all your mobile devices. Learn more at RBIGame.com.
There's another one of those weird things, a leadoff home run again.
3 of them yesterday and another one here in the second inning tonight.
Well, like I said yesterday, usually the 1-run home runs are not the ones that kill you. It's the multiple run home runs.
Hey, how about the time of game as Ben Gamble gets in here? Yesterday in Anaheim, the Red Sox played their quickest game of the season, 2 hours and 13 minutes.
That game did go quick. But also, if you look at it, there was a lot of first pitch swinging, ground balls to short, ground balls to second, and a lot of pop-ups on the first pitch. Both sides, not just one.
Yeah.
So that doesn't take up too much time.
Almost unheard of for the Red Sox. High and tight on Gamble, hitting 320 with 6 home runs.
And in my time, I don't think we ever played a 2-hour game. Not in my 6 years.
When you were with the Red Sox, probably not.
Correct.
1-2 fouled away. This guy's been a hot hitter. He's hit safely in 10 consecutive games. He owns the number 5 batting average in the American League at 320. And Another Seattle rookie who's putting together a very solid year. Here's the 1-2.
Just off. Just a little bit outside.
Rafael Devers has made it here to Seattle. He's watching tonight. He'll be in the lineup tomorrow against the right-hander Felix Hernandez.
Well, I'm glad that they give him an opportunity just to kind of acclimate to being on the club, being up in the big leagues. You know, you get to kind of sit and watch, talk to the guys that you know, watch a game, watch how fast it goes, you know, take a deep breath and, you know, have some Gatorade and chill out. So
hard hit. That's fair. Past the lunging Hanley Ramirez down the line. Gamble take it off for second. It bounces on the sidewall. Betts will scoop and fire. Here's the play at third. It's cut. And he's got himself 3 bases. So a triple for Gamble.
That kid can run a little bit. Now that ball just bounced off the wall and stopped, Mookie didn't have a whole lot of time to get him on the throw.
So that's an 11-game hitting streak for Gamble.
Erod took a shot inside trying to get the guy out with 2 strikes, and he just turned on that ball just inside the line. Got it right by Hanley right there. And he can run a little bit.
Into third, standing up.
Yeah, Hanley just misses that ball.
So the infield has to come in for the Red Sox, trailing 1-0 in the second inning. And Heredia, the batter, 266 with 5 home runs, and pops that one up down the line. Can anyone get to it? Betts coming and will not. It drops into foul territory and bounces out of play.
I'm not sure if he lost his footing right there, if he was really thinking about diving, which if you dive, I mean, I know you're trying to go, you do it with 2 outs in foul territory, because if you catch that, that's a sac fly, and you're not getting up and throwing the guy out. So it's actually a smart play by Betts, not going for that ball.
Now, Mookie Betts on plays like that in foul ground and right field is a lot like watching Jackie Bradley in center. When he goes back on the ball, nothing's safe. I mean, there's a very good chance he's going to make that catch, no matter where it is.
Yeah, he's got a chance to run it down and catch it.
0-1. 0-2 on Heredia.
Well, he was definitely going for the sacrifice fly right there. You know, trying to drive that run in. Smart pitch by Erod right there, knowing he's going to be aggressive, trying to get this RBI. Go out of the zone.
He's got a real chance to get out of this without another run scoring. Heredia followed by Zunino, who's only hitting in the 220s, and a guy who strikes out frequently. Chopper, here comes the run. Hanley throwing home. The tag is going to be safe. He got underneath it. The run is in to make it 2-0.
It was a close play right there, but Hanley just, you know, the throw was just way too high for Christian to bring that tag down. And he just sneaks his hand in there.
So it'll be a fielder's choice and an RBI for Heredia to make it 2-0 Seattle. Another look.
Yeah, the high hop gives Gamble a chance to get down the line a little bit, but he just didn't make a great throw.
So the Red Sox falling behind quickly here. Zunino now 228 with 14 homers. Heredia with 1 stolen base.
Take a shot right there with the pickoff throw in case he's just a little happy getting off the bag because he got an RBI.
Zunino has already been struck out 95 times in 228 at bats. So a lot of swing and miss from him as he takes inside.
That is a lot of swinging and missing. That's really not that good. I mean, not if you're at this level, either somebody's found a weakness that they're just exposing, but you need to make more contact if you're at this level.
Gene Segura on deck, 2-0 Mariners. And the step and throw won't get him. Drew Pomeranz set to go tomorrow night against Felix Hernandez in Rafael Devers' major league debut. Unless that comes tonight, he is available this evening.
I'm sure he is.
And Chris Sale going on Wednesday against one of the top prospects in their system, right-hander Andrew Moore. That's an afternoon tilt here on NESN. Here's the king, Mr. Felix. He's 5-4 with a 3.88 ERA.
Not sure if he has too much hair or needs a bigger hat.
2-0, knock foul. Red Sox so far this season are 2-1 against the Mariners, and they've won 6 of their last 7 sets against them, going back to 2010.
Well, Erod's just missing off the plate. I mean, he's got good location. The ball's coming. You know, I say good location. He's got good tilt on his ball where it's just out of the strike zone, off the plate on both sides. But he's attacking the zone, and he's elevating his ball just enough where guys are swinging and missing. But if he could get that location just a little bit closer to the edge of the plate, where it looks a little bit better to swing at, guys are not going to lay off as much, and he's going to save some of his pitches.
Is 2-2 to Zunino. Left it up top for a ball and a full count. So now we'll see if Heredia is doing something at first base with 1 down and a 3-2 pitch. And Seattle already in the lead here, 2-0. Down and the 3-2, and he popped him up, but that'll twist foul and back out of play. The AIG Hurling Classic and Irish Festival returns to Fenway with a doubleheader featuring 4 of the most prominent teams in the world. And in addition to hurling, the festivities include a lively Irish festival. Tickets are on sale right now at redsox.com/hurling.
You know, I was watching that little thing come across our screen, and it's an odd game to me.
Hurling, yes.
Yeah, hurling.
Very strange, but really interesting to watch, especially when you get about 30,000 Irishmen in the audience. A cut and a miss for strike 3, because they know their stuff. They know they're hurling.
Wow.
And that'll be out number 2.
Is that before or after?
I'm not even going to go there. But yes. And Segura will climb in. He took ball 4 in the first inning.
Well, you know, you're Irish, so you should probably know that game.
I probably should, and am going to do some diligence on it and learn the rules and all of that. But when I visited Ireland a few years ago, it was the rage. Everyone was going to see hurling in Dublin, in and around Dublin. Fouled back by Segura.
Well, I can't really. I don't know. It's a flat stick. It actually looks like women's field hockey.
A little bit. Yep.
Stick. But can you grab the ball with your hand?
I don't know the answer to that.
Huh.
I don't know if you'd be penalized if you did.
5 yards, no swing, something like that. I don't know.
Sounds good. I mean, if you it'd be a great game if you could make up the rules as you went. So Seattle grabbing a 2-0 lead on a home run by Seager, and then a triple and a fielder's choice to drive in Gamble.
Talking to Gary DiSarcina earlier today, he is really proud of Christian Vasquez being here. He said he's always had that same release. You know, when he was managing down Lowell, same release, but you know, Christian worked out, he changed his body type, you know, and he gained some arm strength. He still had, like I said, he still had the same release, but he just didn't have the carry on his ball. And now, I mean, when he throws the ball, he's throwing dudes out easy. So he said he's really proud of, you know, he's got a lot of players here that he's seen before, but he's really proud of him being in the big leagues.
It's a tough road back for him from Tommy John surgery. surgery, but he's gotten that velocity back on his throws, that arm strength back. 2-1 wide, 3 balls, 1 strike. Valencia would hit next. So this inning a bit of a struggle for Erod with the home run and the triple. He does have 3 strikeouts.
Well, the ball's coming out really well. It's just he's just a little bit out of the zone. Consistently just a little bit out of the zone.
Trying to end the inning on a very good leadoff man in Segura. Line toward the alley. It's going to be a gap shot. It's going to get down onto the grass. Heredia runs pretty well. He's on third. He's coming home. Here's a hesitation to throw. Not in time. That was a pump there, a double pump by Marrero, and it's 3-0 Seattle.
Yeah, I don't think Marrero had any kind of communication or heard anything from anybody on that relay, so he just didn't know if he should just turn and fire. And he just had one slight pump fake. But that's a great relay. I mean, Jackie gets to this ball and gets it in and in a hurry. And we had a shot. It wasn't extremely late, just a little pump fake right there. One extra step.
And Heredia comes sliding in with the 3rd run, and Carl Willis out to the 19th double of the season for Segura. So the Red Sox fall behind here in game 1. I really think Gene Segura is one of the more underrated good players in the American League today, and has been for a couple of years. He's not a guy that is readily known with some of the better leadoff men in the league, like Altuve, for example, or Mookie Betts.
True. A contributing factor to that is him playing out here.
I think you're right.
I mean, it's not a lot of people see you on a normal basis.
Does not get a whole lot of publicity.
Heck, the East Coast is almost all in bed now.
Here's Valencia. He whiffed in the 1st inning. Well, take a look at it last year with Arizona. And another
fairly West
Coast time zone. 319 last year. Talking about Segura, 203 hits. He scored 102 runs. He hit 20 homers.
That's a solid season.
And stole 33 bases to boot.
Yeah, it makes you wonder how do people not get the fanfare.
Right. Pedroia will catch that on a pop up by Valencia, but it's now 3-0 Seattle. Red Sox have fallen behind 3-0 to the Mariners, and Erod none too happy as he came down the dugout steps.
Good bounce on the glove right there, but you know, he knows that he's not as sharp as he wants to be, and he's just missing off the plate. And then when he does, you know, the guys have hit it, you know, in between guys. There's the line drive into right center field, but you know, and a home run, but he knows he's just not exactly where he needs to be. It may take another inning for him to get into his groove. It took his last outing, 3 innings, for him to really just start finding his groove, and it may start coming sooner and sooner.
Well, Devin Marrero leading off the 3rd here. Red Sox trying to get on the board against this very tough lefty. He'll be followed by Vasquez and then Brock Holtz.
That'd be good to put a few balls in play and put some pressure on this young man. It's a good changeup.
We saw Danny Valencia pop up and end the 2nd inning and broke his bat on that play. And we'll show you what happened with the busted bat. Check swing, and he strikes out. Down he goes. So here's a look at what happened on that play. Here's the pop up to second base and the broken bat.
Yeah, he's only holding about 4 inches of that bat.
And Segura almost gets drilled with it.
Yes, he did.
As the base runner. Able to scamper around that.
Grown man hit that ball, and it only went 10 feet farther than the end of his bat, which almost killed Segura.
Vasquez 255 with 1 home run. Red Sox here for 3, and then we'll head back east. But by the way, today it's like 50 degrees and rainy. That was what we had back home in New England.
Really?
This was a lot nicer.
Absolutely. Wow. Is it late September or early October, or it was just while we're gone?
It was.
It is.
When we left on the trip, the weather was nice. I'm hoping it'll improve dramatically when the Red Sox get back to town and open up a series against Kansas City on the 28th. And then Cleveland and then the White Sox, a long homestand taking us into early August. 2-1. That'll be handled by Paxton.
Darn it.
2 down.
That's a good place to put it, right back in play.
Stay on top of the latest Red Sox news with NESN's free Red Sox text alerts. To sign up, text Red Sox to 536-536. Message and data rates may apply.
Well, he stayed back. You know, there's a breaking ball inside. He stayed back, tried to hit it right back up the middle. It was a good swing, but Paxton got in the way.
Pedroia scalded one to center field in the 1st inning, and that was caught by Heredia. This comebacker taken in by the pitcher. Brings up Brock Holt.
You know, we're going to go with we're going to start making those things again into the routine and the superstition and stuff.
Right.
We have a perfect game going.
So you said it out loud. I'm hoping it would ruin it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you believe very firmly, we established this yesterday, that what you say in the broadcast booth has a direct effect on what happens on the field. And you know, you're beginning to sway me on this, and I'm going to then come to you and say, well, Mike, we love baseball. If you have that kind of power, if we do,
yeah,
let's use it for even greater good.
Well, you kind of locked me up right there.
Dadgummit. I'm sorry about that.
I couldn't come back with anything with that. I had nothing.
I apologize about that, because you've got legions of folks out there like, yeah, hey, you can't say no hitter, you can't say perfect, because like we affect it.
Yeah.
And I know you know.
If it was Erod doing it, you guarantee I wouldn't say a word.
No, you would not.
I would let it go silently in the night,
right,
and let the Mariners have a painful death. But it seems to be on the Red Sox side, and we need to change that.
So you got it out there right away, early enough.
Yeah, we've got a perfect game going. James Paxton, if you can hear me, you know it's gonna happen, dude. You're gonna give up a hit. So
you can hear you or care.
Right.
That one rolled toward third, but foul. As Brock Holt hangs in, Mookie Betts on deck.
Here's another thing for Mr. Paxton. He keeps it, he's only given up 1 home run in each of his 5 June starts. And usually in June, of course, the air gets hotter. It's a little bit lighter. Ball starts flying. So, of course, that says something about him, but I'm going to kind of throw the hex on him, and, maybe we can give up some home runs, too.
Slicer foul out of play. Brock had a good day yesterday in Anaheim. He went 2 for 3. There weren't many hits to be had in that game on either side.
True.
It was one of the better pitched games all season.
And quickly.
By both starters. Here's the 2-2.
And this would be a great guy to do it. He's never seen Paxton. Why not? Why not him? Why not just let it be him?
Brock, a .337 career hitter against Seattle. Really hanging in there, barely making contact there.
That was a total mistake by me. Brock's hitting 6-6. I'm a relief pitcher. I don't know what I'm talking about. Just make crap up.
Come on, you're new on the job. You're doing a heck of a job. The 2-2.
Give me a hit.
Scooped up by Seager, and that'll retire the side. So that's all for the Sox. They go 1-2-3. 3-0 Seattle. Pitch presented by Joseph Abood, available at Men's Warehouse. TC Tim Wakefield and Lenny DiNardo will be joined by Boston Globe's Alex Spear to discuss Rafael Devers' major league debut. Brock Holt there on the right side, and he'll set down Robinson Cano, who is 0 for 2. First ball swinging, and that's out number 1.
It's good to see Lenny on the broadcast there. I like Lenny. He's awesome. He was fun to have in the bullpen. Nasty stuff. Probably the oddest wind up in motion. And he's a he's a pitching instructor. He does a lot of pitching instruction. And we've done some. We've sat and talked a little bit there at Fenway Park, and I asked him, I go, you don't actually teach that motion to people, do you? He's like, I don't think I could actually teach that motion to anyone.
Right. Nelson Cruz 0 for 1. Sit into a fielder's choice. 3-0 Seattle here in the third. Did you say when you guys would play music trivia in the bullpen that Lenny was pretty good?
Oh my goodness, yes. Yeah, that guy, and he's a really good guitar player.
I've heard that.
Yeah,
I mean, legit.
Yeah, him and Bronson Arroyo were really good. I mean, they could just put on a concert there in the locker room. But Lenny, he's he knew his music, no question.
Knows his tunes.
Yeah. Lead singers, bands, all of it. Very impressive.
2-1. Drew's always a very dangerous hitter. Still one of the stronger guys in the American League.
But maybe all that sage wisdom that comes from Lenny, comes with age. I mean,
not that old though.
But I love Lenny, and forgive me, Lenny, dude, I love you, but you're probably the youngest gray-haired guy I've ever known. and not that I don't have it.
Well, you got a little bit. High and deep, but foul. And way up there into the top deck here at Safeco, which remains one of the really nicest ballparks in all of baseball.
That's just good extension right there. A little body English trying to pull that back.
One down, base is empty, and the 2-2 from the lefty.
Ball's coming out really nice out of Edgar's hand. Eduardo, I should say.
You've got Edgar on the brain.
I've got Edgar Martinez on my head, and when I talked to him earlier today, such a nice guy.
One great hitter. They're going to retire his number 11 in August. That one's going to be down low, ball 4. So Cruz is on. Let's get down to Jemai.
Hey, thanks a lot, Dave. The original lineup was slated to have Xander Bogaerts in it, but he was a late scratch because of sinus and flu-like symptoms. So Brock Holt, who was originally supposed to play left field, he's now at third base. And John Farrell said he was originally hoping to get him in there because he wanted to take advantage of his versatility. Of course, Holt, he had played some left field during his rehab stint with the Paw Sox.
And of course, we have seen him play the outfield before, and that was the lineup we got earlier today, the one that Jemai was talking about, with Brock Holt lining up in left, and Benintendi, who made his major league debut here last year, was not even going to play tonight.
I walked by Benintendi coming off the field. I said, well, this is where it all began, right? He goes, yeah, it's kind of weird.
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah. He goes, I really like playing here.
Yeah. Great memories for him here.
Absolutely. Well as he plays, he's going to make great memories everywhere.
Made his major league debut here nearly a year ago on August 2nd. Give you a look at his first career hit. This is August 3rd. With the family here.
Man, he went down to go get that ball now. He was eager to get that hit.
And preserved for all time. Runner at first for Seager, who blasted that home run in the second. It was 14.
I've got a few baseballs on my shelves here and there. Different things, signed autographs, things that mean something to me. I wonder what these guys, where they put, in their house, their first hit. Where do they put that? Do they put it, if they hit their first home run, do they sit next to each other? Yeah, I wonder strange things like that.
2-1 in there for a called strike. A lot of guys, when I ask them that question, the answer comes back, feels like 75, 80% of the time, it's in my parents' house. Mom and dad got it.
Mom and dad got it. Well, it stands to reason. I mean, unless you're married, kids and all that stuff, why would you have an office or something like that?
Yep, goes to your folks' house, at least until you get a home of your own. And a big swing and a miss, and down goes Seager. He got fooled on that one.
That's a nasty slider right there. That was really cool. He seems to be getting a little bit more comfortable. He's in the zone. That's a hard pitch to lay off.
He's got good stuff.
I mean,
he just does.
That is a perfect pitch. That left-hander cannot get his hands to that ball. You saw him how he dropped his hands into his chest and tried to get the bat on the ball. but no dice.
Mitch Haniger, the rookie right fielder, 0 for 1. He's grounded to short. Red Sox, when they come up to bat in the 4th inning, will be looking for their first base runner against Paxton, who's having a great month. He's a perfect 4-0 in the month of July, and ERA around 2. So he's been tough on a lot of people.
He's just, I mean, one ball off the plate, out of the zone. Both of those pitches right there, really good location. Height-wise, just not close enough to the edge of the plate to be swung on.
2 down in the 3rd and a 2-0. 2 balls and 1 strike. Tampa Bay has lost. The Orioles beat them 5-0. The Yankees are idle tonight. Red Sox coming into play with a 2.5 game lead over the Yankees, 3.5 over Tampa Bay.
I just wonder if Erod is working through some discomfort just a little bit. You know, maybe the longer he goes, the more often that he throws coming off that knee injury, he'll be more comfortable and throw more strikes.
They were tagged pretty well, but Jackie Bradley back there and will run it down in the alley to retire the side. No runs or hits, a walk, 1 left. It remains 3-0 Seattle. Three to nothing, top of the 4th inning. Cold hard facts are brought to you by Clean Crisp Coors Light. Mookie Betts has started each of the last 96 games. That's the longest streak for the Red Sox since Mo Vaughn started 153 in a row in 97-98.
Well, that's impressive in itself. Just keeps going. Kid loves to play the game, and I love it.
0 for 1 tonight. Caught looking on a 3rd strike in the 1st inning. Red Sox looking for their first base runner against the left-hander Paxton.
Well, we need to get this perfect game. We need to knock the goose egg out of the hit column first, but we could do it at the same time.
Benintendi on deck, and then Pedroia getting their 2nd look at Paxton. His nickname is the Big Maple, by the way.
The Big Maple. And if you look way off into left field, there is a maple grove.
There is.
Yes.
Fly ball right center field, but there's Haniger. So one man gone. Mookie Betts retired. His fan club, the Maple Grove.
The Maple Grove.
Where does one find a suit like that, by the way?
Man, hopefully they'll just keep that a secret.
He's just peeking out of the tree there. Very, very creative.
Yep, the big maple.
You mentioned he's allowed 1 home run over his last 6 or 7 starts. Has not allowed a long ball in 7 games, or did not in April and May. On to first base, Benintendi retired. 2 up and 2 down. Limited tickets remain for James Taylor with Bonnie Raitt on August 11th. That's all part of the Plainridge Park Casino Fenway Concert Series. Get your tickets now at redsox.com/James Taylor.
Do you do anything musical?
Yeah, I played the drums as a kid very badly, but my brother was exceptional.
Nice.
And was a professional drummer for about 25 years. So he got all the musical talent. Do you play an instrument?
I started playing a guitar.
You did?
For a while, yeah. I haven't practiced in a while, but
oh, Mike, you got to practice.
if you're going to get good, you know, it's that 10,000 hours thing. I just don't think my fingertips can take it.
Foul back, and a vicious cut by Pedroia. He's had the biggest swing tonight with a liner to center field. A lot of ball players, that's one of the things they do. They bring their guitars with them on the road.
You know what? I tried to do that for a little while, but I just got tired of lugging the thing around. Of course, I wasn't playing at the time.
Just lugging it.
I was just lugging it around.
I can see that getting old. Swung on and missed, strike 3. And that's all for the Red Sox. Paxton, a man in command. Red Sox don't have a base runner yet. Here against Eduardo Rodriguez. All 3 runs scored in the 2nd inning. And Seattle took the lead. Gamble part of that with a triple. And they brought him in with a fielder's choice.
Wow, that ball moved a lot.
Gamble would be on anybody's all hair team. And in fact might be elected captain. I think Heath Hembry would be on that team.
Yeah, he'd be on that team, no question. My son's hair is like that.
Same thing. Yep.
Yeah. Hanley Ramirez, look at this.
Hanley would be on that team. Yep.
The all twisted team. Hanley Ramirez. El Capitan.
Heath Hembry.
Yeah, look at it. See, he heard us. He's talking about the hair, smoothing it back.
left up the middle for a base hit. So Gamble's 2 for 2. He's a hot hitter. Get expert emergency care without leaving the ballpark at Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center, the first aid station at Fenway. That's located behind Section 12 on the lower concourse. Visit bidmc.org. Fourth hit of the ball game. Seattle has all of them. Brings up Guillermo Heredia. Reached on the fielder's choice. He drove in a run and would later score in that second inning. Mike Zunino on deck. Mike Timlin in the booth. And a high fly to center. That'll hang up for Jackie Bradley. And he's got it for the first out. Fans, don't miss Nesson Live tomorrow at 5:30. We have WEEI's Rob Bradford to discuss the major league debut of Rafael Devers.
That's going to be exciting.
That'll be a lot of fun. That is tomorrow night. He is here. Mike met him in a sushi restaurant here in Seattle earlier today.
He probably won't sleep a lot, even though he's been traveling a little bit and he'll be tired, but he probably won't sleep very well at night.
Zunino struck out first trip. You remember it very vividly? Is it still very crisp in your memory, your major league debut?
Absolutely. As every guy that's ever played. I remember running. I was in Toronto, and the phone rang, and the bullpen coach said, "You need to get up." And I was like, "Okay." So I just started throwing, and they said, "Well, you're in the game." I ran out to the mound, and I'm standing in the middle on the mound, and I cannot feel. I can't feel my legs. I was like, I'm going to fall over. Yeah. I mean, literally from the middle of my thighs, gone, just dead. But, still throwing, still functioning. I don't know how, but I really thought, yeah, there's no way I'm going to be able to pitch. And it was against Boston.
That one popped up, but foul and out of play. Who's the first hitter you faced?
Oh, gosh. Now my memory's going to fail me.
Well, we'll get it. I mean, we'll find it somewhere along the line. But it was against the Red Sox.
Yeah, and I walked him, and then I got he was hitting right in front of Carlos Quintana. It's funny, I can remember Carlos Quintana, my second guy, because he hit in a double play, and it got me out of the inning.
Well, it makes sense though, because it all went blank on you, even your body.
Yeah, brain, all of it. I was just brain dead. I was just 25 years old and throwing as hard as I could throw.
Cut on and missed, and Zunino fans, so they're 2 away. That is such an amazing moment for a professional athlete, because all of your hard work and all of the hopes and dreams of so many others for you are wrapped up in that one moment. Here you are, a major league ball player.
No question. And honestly, I mean, if I'm just going to be completely honest, never thought I'd ever make it. I really didn't.
No kidding.
Yeah. Never assumed I was good enough to play. And I never tried to assume I was any better than this game, because this game has held some serious stars. And, it goes to show you, I played 18 years. I pitched over 1,000 baseball games. And yet you can take those numbers and they mean absolutely zero, because I'm not even close to being in the Hall of Fame. I mean, think about some of the numbers that have been put up. Guys are going at it.
Hit batsman here, Segura. And he's going to hobble his way toward first base as he gets struck. That'll put runners at first and second as he reaches base painfully for the third time.
Check this out, see where it hits. I don't know. If you take a ball right off the top of your foot, right there, I mean, it's, for whatever reason, you've tied your shoe too tight, so your foot goes dead. That's like 10 times of what it would be.
Thanks for bringing that down to my level, by the way.
But yeah, it was awful.
Boy, awful. He was skipping there for the longest time. He was in pretty serious pain. We know the damage that can do. They're going to take a look at this, though. The Red Sox, they want this reviewed to see if in fact it did hit him. I mean, he's a pretty good actor if it didn't hit him.
Yeah. I mean,
it put a lot into that performance.
It didn't seem like it hit him all that hard for him to be, really hobbling like that.
So ruled a hit by pitch, but this is reviewable. Take another look.
I'm thinking it hit him. I mean, if you look at the angle of the ball coming in to his top of his foot, and then it just literally goes flat, probably 3 inches above the ground.
I just don't think you go through all of this to get a base. I mean, right now it's not like it's Game 7 of the World Series.
That's true.
So that's an awful lot of effort to go through, and they are going to rule, in fact, he was hit by the pitch.
Yeah.
The Red Sox lose their challenge.
Well, they have a scoreboard on confirming the plays. It's a scoreboard now.
Took 1 minute, 10 seconds. The Red Sox challenges have not gone that well this season.
We didn't have reviews when I played.
Right.
I mean, there was a little bit, in the playoffs and that sort of thing. But I mean, I know it's part of the game, and I'm glad that they want to get things correct. Sometimes it does take a little bit too much time, in my opinion. And then, on the other side, everybody's trying to get the game to speed up, and then,
Right. Sure.
which hand do you want to try to work here? Do you want to get it right, or do you want the game to go on?
I'd like to see it sped up a little bit.
Absolutely.
In there for a called strike on Valencia. He has struck out and popped up. 2 down, but 2 on. And Seattle in the lead 3-0.
I mean, maybe you could have like a 5th umpire that's already on, and have a monitor the guy set to New York, and as it's going, boom, he hits it, and he has say yes or no. I don't know.
Play on at second, and the tag not in time to retire Gamble. And Rodriguez with a 1-1. Popped up, back out of play.
Really good location right there on his hands.
Well, by the way, you were wondering about who your first Red Sox hitter was that you faced. Tim Wakefield had the answer back in the studio. He said it was none other than a gentleman named Babe Ruth.
Oh, I love that guy. He was a tough out.
Left-hand hitter, good power.
I need to ask Tim what he was like in high school.
It was actually Tom Bernansky.
Oh, yes. And of course, now I see it in my head.
Sock to right. Betts racing back. Not going to get it. It's onto the running track. Gamble is in to score. Segura down to third, and it's an RBI double for Valencia. That'll make it 4-0. Hit deep enough that even Mookie Betts couldn't get to it.
Well, the pitch was upstairs, and he's had success up there. He just got just enough of it to carry over Mookie's head. I'm surprised that ball really went that far. He didn't really hit this extremely well on the sweet spot, but man, that ball just carried.
Valencia picking up his 50th RBI. That's going to bring out Carl Willis and put runners at second and third with 2 down. Red Sox making an active bullpen here. We're in the 4th inning.
We've definitely got movement down there.
And Valencia having a pretty solid season. It's going to be Ben Taylor starting to throw in the pen as Valencia gives some hitting instruction. Not that the man on deck and about to bat needs much of that. Robinson Cano. So trouble here for the Red Sox in game 1 in Seattle. Sox don't have a base runner yet tonight. And Seattle has 4 runs on 5 hits, and Eduardo is in trouble. He's gotten Cano twice on a strikeout and a grounder to third. Nelson Cruz on deck, 2 down.
Like I said, he just, his release point's just a little bit off, and he's just off the plate enough where these guys are not, they're not hacking at those balls.
Segura and Valencia on a third and second. And Rodriguez with a 1-0. He thought about it, but checked the swing. 2-0. Cano has these kind of numbers against a lot of opponents, but lifetime against the Red Sox, 302. 25 homers and 116 RBIs.
Wow. Well, he's played against the Red Sox quite a few times.
Yes. His Yankee days.
Yankee days.
Lines that one to Benintendi on the move. Dips down to get it. A sinking line drive. He hauls it in. And in the end, only 1 run scores, but that makes it 4-0 Seattle. You get a free package of hot dog buns too. It's summer. Let's grill Cam. Well, back in Seattle, Red Sox in a 4-0 hole here, and Andrew Benintendi had to make a last-second adjustment on a sinking liner.
Man, this is a great shoestring catch right there. That's really pretty.
Andy Ramirez leading off the inning. He's 0 for 1. And it'll be Jackie Bradley and Chris Young. Red Sox just trying to get a man to first base against James Paxton.
Yeah, we need to break up this no-hitter and perfect game and all this other stuff. I truly believe that, the more you speak about it.
I know you do. I know you firmly believe it. We'll see if you're right in this inning. First batter, Seager, will set him down. Andy Ramirez now 0 for 2 and 1 away in the 5th. Jackie Bradley will be next. It is time now for our Capital One player to bank on. This is banking reimagined. Paxton has been outstanding.
There's just no denying it. I mean, he's pounding the zone when he can, and then just off the plate when he has to be.
He's hit 57 pitches with 1 out in the 5th.
That's very efficient.
He struck out 5. One of them, Jackie Bradley.
And as they just showed, there's some Canadians with, instead of having the K, they have the A in a maple leaf, counting the strikeouts.
Little blooper, and that's going to duck out for a base hit. So Jackie Bradley is on with the first hit here tonight with 1 away in the 5th.
That's the way to knock that 0 off the board. See, you know, we're making progress here.
Jackie took a gigantic swing, but got enough of the bat on it. And a soft shot into center field, but he'll take it. So for the first time tonight, the Sox have a man at first.
You know, if I can't get out on the field and help them out, I'm going to try to help this team out.
Got to do what you can.
As much as I possibly can.
I hear you. Here's Chris Young. Chris 0 for 1. He's popped to short. Trying to get it going against lefties.
It's going to be tough if the outside corner is that loose right there. But Paxton has proven time and time again that he can hit that spot. So Mr. Torres is going to give him that more often than not.
This is the second time that Chris Young has ever taken on Paxton. The Red Sox fans in attendance trying to get up a chant. And the Mariner fans getting a little upset about that, trying to shout them down. Which we see all over the country.
Every place we go. And once the "Let's Go Red Sox" start, the boos come.
We see a lot of Red Sox fans here in the great Pacific Northwest around the city of Seattle today as we were driving to the ballpark and walking around the city today. Wearing their Red Sox jerseys and caps everywhere.
I saw quite a few when I walked down to Pike Market this morning, and yeah, the Red Sox unis and hats everywhere. It's good to see.
Jackie on at first with 1 down. And that is in there for strike 3. No argument from Young, and there are 2 gone. Number 6 for Paxton.
Well, that's an almost unhittable pitch. I mean, it's a backdoor breaking ball, and it's in a perfect spot. He just lays it right in there, and it's you got to give up sometimes.
Stay tuned after the 3rd out of this half inning for the Mid-5th studio show with TC and Adam.
Well, now that we've got that no-hitter out of the way, perfect game gone, we have 1 more 0 on the board to deal with.
Well, Marrero struck out first time up. Devin 0 for 1. Getting the nod at shortstop with Xander Bogaerts a little under the weather today. And finally a hit for the Red Sox by Jackie Bradley.
Kind of getting in there really close. That's a big 0. It needs to be a 1 or 2 right here.
Cross for a called strike at 95. That's an easy 95.
It is an easy 95. He's got a great motion. He seems very efficient in what he's doing. He's not stressing himself, but that ball's coming out really well.
Ben Taylor still throwing in the Red Sox bullpen. With Bradley inching off first base. With a win tonight, James Paxton would go to 10-3. He's a ways away from that, but he really has turned into their best starting pitcher.
You know, guys mentioned, when I was talking to Scott Brocious a little bit today, he said he's been Mr. Consistency, so to speak.
foul out of play. Again, 94 with that four-seamer.
And with those numbers, you can't argue. I mean, he's just out there. He goes out there and throws strikes. Scott said he just goes out and throws strikes, and he's having a good time. He's relaxed on the mound. And he's doing it again tonight.
And a 1-2 to Marrero made him dance a little bit. There goes the runner Bradley. The throw down to second, not in time. So Jackie, very alert, gets himself into scoring position.
Good read on the ball. As soon as that ball hit the ground, Jackie was taking off. That was just a really good read by a good base runner right there. As soon as that ball goes down, he's moving. Sometimes that's a really tough thing. You know, I coach in high school when I'm at home, and it's a tough thing to teach those guys to, as soon as the ball hits the ground, really be aggressive on your first couple of steps to see where it's going to go, and you'll be able to take the base.
I think the best in the game right now doing that is Mookie Betts. Swing and a miss, and strike three. That'll retire the side. 7 strikeouts for Paxton. Red Sox finally a hit, but it's 4-0 Seattle. Time to turn it over to TC and Adam for the mid-fifth studio show. Gentlemen. Night here in the Great Pacific Northwest. Eduardo Rodriguez, his second start since coming off the knee injury. 81 pitches. So far 4 runs all earned. He has 5 strikeouts. Pitching line brought to you by Ace Ticket. And first man in here in the 5th will be Nelson Cruz, who's gone 0 for 1 with a walk. Red Sox did a good job against Cruz in Boston in the earlier series, holding him to 2 for 13. And the Sox took 2 out of the 3 games.
You know, the ball's still coming out of his hand really, really well. And he's just missing locations. I know he's not happy about that. I don't know if he's over trying or whatever he's doing.
He's gone to 3-0 on Cruz. Seager on deck. In that second inning, Eduardo was not pleased as he fired his glove onto the bench in the dugout after the 3rd out. There's a shot driven into left field, turning around Benintendi. He recovers and makes the play. Well, that was a bullet.
That was a bullet. He barely had time to turn around and take about 5 or 6 steps, and that ball's right there.
He's made a couple of fine plays.
Yeah, a little shoestring catch. It almost looks like he turns around and almost hits him in the face.
Oof.
He's a good athlete.
Benintendi made his major league debut here last August. We will see Rafael Devers make his major league debut tomorrow night, unless he gets in for some reason tonight. Likelihood of that is not high.
No.
So waiting for King Felix tomorrow.
Well, that's a man. That's a tough draw on your big league debut. Right
sure
there.
is. Yep.
Dang it. I know he hits the ball really well. I hope he sees the ball really good off Felix. Gosh.
Well, he did not appear to sweat AAA pitching.
No.
He hit 400.
That's very true.
He went 4 for 4 in his first game at AAA.
AA didn't seem too hard either.
Combined 20 homers and 60 RBIs for Rafael. On the run, Holtz, and that'll sail up into the stands for a foul strike from Seager, who blasted a home run his first time up. He struck out the next time.
Well, it's a good thing, left-hander hitting off a right-hander, so maybe he'll see the ball a little bit better here. And as you can see out in center field, that is a unbelievable batter's eye. So the ball really lights up for these guys here.
1-2 fouled away. And of course, it is a retractable dome ballpark, so they're always going to play.
I'm glad they have it open. It's beautiful. And we have the Anaheim sky. There's no clouds.
1-2. He wouldn't chase it.
See, he's not getting the benefit of that call that Paxton's getting. And of course, that upsets me as a pitcher just a little bit. I mean, if you're going to call it one way, call it the other. Be consistent.
Here's his 91st pitch tonight. He has struck out 5, and he popped him up. Oncoming Benintendi, still coming, and he'll make the play. 2 up, 2 down. On Wednesday, enjoy a special screening of A League of Their Own during movie night at Fenway Park. It's presented by Mitsubishi Electric. Tickets just $10 for adults, $5 for children 12 and under. To get your tickets and more information, visit redsox.com/movie night at Fenway Park. That's a cool experience.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, it's a cool experience just being at Fenway Park, and I don't care what you're doing. But sit down and watch a movie. That'd be pretty neat.
Haniger, Trickler, both to be tested. Scoops and fires, very smoothly done to get them 1-2-3, and we've wrapped up 5 innings in Seattle. 4-0 the Mariners. million over 5 years to extend their commitment to helping people lead tobacco-free lives, moving us one step closer toward a tobacco-free generation. Learn more at cbshealth.com/be the first. Mike Timlin, Dave O'Brien, and Jemai Webster with him. Proceeding on to the 6th inning. Red Sox got their first hit of the ball game last inning. A base hit by Jackie Bradley. Jackie got as far as second base on a wild pitch, but then Paxton struck out the next 2 batters.
Well, he seems to get, guy on second base or guy on any base, he seems to get a little bit tougher.
Vasquez won at bat. He's hit a comebacker.
I've really enjoyed his swing, watching him in the box. I mean, I know he's not a huge power hitter. He just doesn't, he doesn't have the body for it. I know he's got power to hit the ball out of the yard because anybody that steps in that box, especially at this level, can go deep. But he seems to be way better on contact, and as you can see, they're shading a little bit to right center.
Pop toward right, charging on Haniger, and near the line, he's got it for the first out. A man gone in the Red Sox 6th in front of Brock Holt. When you look at certain catchers around the big leagues, they're like a Christian Vasquez. Would you have enjoyed pitching to him, and why?
Watching him call a game the other day, he seems to have a really good game plan. And I mean, I've had some pretty good catchers throughout the year. I mean, when I pitched here, we had Dan Wilson, who had a good game plan. I've thrown to Mike Matheny, I've thrown to Pat Borders, obviously Jason Varitek, and he is right there in that caliber. He's very smart. Guys don't shake him off often, and he has an idea way before the hitter does, and that's a big positive.
Brock Holt 0 for 1 with a ground ball to third. This one to the right side, backhanded, cross body, and he threw that right to the catcher backing up. And Brock Holt's going to be safe at first base.
Well, that's a guy just trying to do too much. I mean, just plant your foot and make a better throw. I'm glad he threw it away. I'm glad we got a guy on, but he almost, like I said earlier in the game, he tried to mess one up on a slow roller, threw it behind him.
Well, this will be an error on Valencia.
Absolutely.
First baseman. So the Sox have their second base runner. Mookie Betts has struck out and flied to right. Brock Holt aboard. Red Sox trailing 4-0 in the 6th.
And if we can make that error hurt, we'll put a guy on the board.
He is hitting .296 off of left-handers and has homered 3 times off lefties.
He sees the ball really well. Paxton's got good movement. He's got something to keep right-handers at bay, and that's that slider or that cutter that goes in on the hands. But he's mostly pitched most of our guys down and away.
He 0 for 4 in Anaheim yesterday to end an 8-game hitting streak, which is a season high for Betts. 2-1. And a base hit to the left. Up to second, Brock Holt, who reached on that error. So for the first time tonight, the Red Sox have more than one man aboard.
Well, maybe, the error, where Paxton had to kind of go out of his rhythm and try to jump and get that ball. Maybe it took him out of what's going on in his head. He's a little mad or upset or something. Not letting that error go. And maybe we'll make him pay for it right here.
Benintendi with the kind of power that can do that. He's 0 for 2. Struck out looking to first, and he grounded to second in the 4th. Holt at second, Betts at first. Red Sox looking to strike in the run column.
And the stadium's not too happy about our Red Sox fans right now. But this team, you know, it seems if you open the door just a little bit, these guys will, you know, they'll kick it in and score some runs. I like that. They have some fire. You know, it's a young team. They know how to win. They know how to play, and they play together really well. This could be our opening.
The 1-0 from the left-hander Paxton. Benintendi 231 against left-handers, 274 against righties. All 12 of his home runs have come off right-handers. So looking to change that right here to 2-0 pitch. And a strike.
It's just a good location. Really good location. I mean, he knew he had to throw a strike, but he didn't throw it down Broadway and down and away. And he couldn't do anything with it.
Benintendi's career began right here last August, and since then he's hitting .343 with runners in scoring position. But now 2-2, and he helped them out a bit.
He did. He chased one out of the zone. That's the slider coming off that last fastball for a strike. Makes it look good, so he offers at it. Right. Just, I mean, it would have been in the exact same spot had it been that fastball, but he chose to throw the slider.
And he struck him out. 2 down. Number 8 for Paxton.
Well, he went back-to-back, you know, back-to-back sliders right there. He thought he might, you know, try to do something different, but that's just a nasty pitch. I mean, you know, he's trying to drive that run in, get the RBI, but just a little over-aggressive on a slider that's down and away.
So Dustin Pedroia looking to salvage something in the inning. Petey has lined to center and struck out tonight. He'll look at strike one, 97.
Well, he seems to get looser now. He's starting to really let it go.
Runners at first and second for the Sox. And the man they want at the plate. The way Pedroia has been swinging it this year. 2. That one 98. So you're right, he's getting looser.
Yeah, and you know, Petey, he doesn't take a soft cut. He's not just trying to bunt one down the line here. He's trying to drive one in the gap. He knows what's going on.
He's hitting .378 against left-handed pitching.
Well, it's about that time.
Now, by far the best scoring chance for the Red Sox so far tonight against Paxton and the Mariners. They have a chance to get into the game here. And a 1-2. Swung on and missed. He struck him out. So he came up with back-to-back Ks after the error and the single, and has 9 strikeouts tonight. Bottom 6, 4-0 Seattle. Rodriguez back on the bump here to take on the bottom third of this order. And this guy has been trouble for him. Ben Gamble, the rookie, a triple and a single. He has scored 2 of their 4 runs. Not like Seattle has been tearing the cover off the ball. They have 5 hits.
True. I mean, there's only been a couple of really hard hit balls.
And one of them, the home run by Seager. Yes. Triple by Gamble was another. They have a couple of doubles.
Gamble's, wasn't tremendously hard hit. It was just hit in the right spot. And it wasn't a bad pitch, but he fished it in just inside the line.
Yeah, hit the right spot down that right field line off the little wall that juts out toward the line.
And it came to a dead stop. And with his speed, that triple was pretty easy for him.
Does run well. And eventually the hair gets there. Trailing behind him.
It's not slowing him down any.
And the 2-1 up top for a ball.
Well, I'm in one aspect I'm a little surprised that Erod's still in here, but on the other I'm not. I think they're trying to let him throw more pitches, get his arm strength back, get his confidence going. I mean, I understand he's down 4-0, but I mean, it's not like we're totally out of this game. He's doing an awesome job. It's just right now we're not doing anything offensively to help him out.
Brandon Workman throwing in the bullpen for the Red Sox. Heredia on deck, and a 3-2 pitch. Pitch number 98 from the left-hander. And he struck him out. Caught him looking.
Great slider right there. I think. Well, we head back to the second inning right here. He's been throwing the ball well. He throws one that's hittable for Seager. Yes, he hit that one well. I mean, long part of the ballpark. That one he got just inside the line, and you see where the ball stops, and that's an easy one. And then Segura goes the other. Oh no, this is the fielder's choice. Sorry, in the bad throw. We should have had an out right there. And then this one goes into the gap. And those are really the only bad pitches or bad locations that we've had.
And that's going to be a bunt hit for Heredia. So a cagey play for the number 8 hitter. He picks up his first hit tonight.
This is a tough pitch. I mean, as a left-hander, this is a heck of a bunt. Left-hander's finishing off towards the third base line and has to spin around. It's not that he really doesn't do that 1,000 times in spring training, but it was just in the right spot where he couldn't get to it.
Well, John Farrell is out to take the baseball away from Eduardo, so he winds up going 5 1/3, just as he did his last time out, throwing 99 pitches. Last time out it was 111. And it's going to be Brandon Workman, who's been pitching awfully well. He comes out with a runner at first base, 4-0 Seattle, and we'll have more in a moment. So Eduardo Rodriguez now out of the ball game after giving up the bunt hit to Heredia. And the Red Sox will turn it over to Brandon Workman, who tossed the 8th and the 9th innings of Thursday's loss against Toronto. That's the last time he was on the mound. He struck out 3. And allowed a home run to the former Mariners, Smoke. And that's right through there for a called strike on Zunino.
I really like how the ball comes out of this kid's hand. He's got, I understand, surgically repaired and all, but he's worked his butt off to get back, and he throws the ball really well.
He's really been a nice story for the Red Sox. A 3.18 ERA on his return, throwing it into the mid-90s. Lined into center. Jackie Bradley got a great jump on it and makes the catch for out number 2. Time now for a game break, brought to you by Jordan's, the furniture store of the Boston Red Sox. Let's toss it to TC. Tom, thank you so much. Great to have you there. And Seattle with a 4-0 lead. With 2 down. Here's Segura. He has yet to make it out. A walk, a double, and he's been hit by a pitch. That's a play the Red Sox challenged whether or not he was actually struck on the foot. Replay indicated he was.
Yeah, it was, of course, from our view, and we get to see the replay, it was pretty obvious that he hit him.
Heredia on at first. He runs pretty well. 6 hits for Seattle. The Sox have just 2 so far against Paxton.
It's a quick move for a big man right there.
Turning into a beautiful night here in Seattle. Another nice day weather-wise expected tomorrow. Upgrade your day with DD Perks. You can earn a free beverage when you enroll in Speed Past the Line with on-the-go ordering. DD Perks, everyone deserves an upgrade. Speeding past the line may not be possible at all locations. Runner goes. Vasquez guns down. Perfect throw, and he got it.
Fantastic throw right there by Christian Vasquez. Great release, really quick.
Out number 3, 4-0 the Mariners. Seattle with a 4-0 lead. Here's James Paxton's pitching line. It's brought to you by your Eastern Lexus dealer. And Paxton has been very tough as anticipated. 88 pitches, 9 strikeouts. And Mike, he hasn't walked anybody.
He has not walked anyone. He hasn't given us a whole lot to work with, which is a great sign of a good pitcher. But, man, I sure would like to see him make a few mistakes here.
A little hold up here before we can begin the 7th inning. The umpire is stopping any effort to start the ball game again. You see the infielders on the left side of the diamond gathering here, and we are waiting on something. And Valencia,
someone stole his glove.
Is looking for his glove.
Can't find my glove.
So a little bit of a that's a priceless look on Seager's face. Like, you got to be kidding me.
Like, really? Here, use mine.
It's got to be a first baseman's mitt.
Well, it doesn't have to be, but
right.
I think he would sure like that.
How can this happen, though? I mean,
I don't know. I mean, it's not like he's running around the dugout grabbing stuff and moving it. It's usually you put it in the same spot every time.
Ooh, it seems like, I mean, I'm just guessing here, that Nelson Cruz is indicating someone is sick. Didn't he?
Yeah, he did. It looked like he was saying, "Oh, it's bad. It's just somebody's throwing up."
And here he comes. So he was either sick or couldn't find his glove.
Well, maybe he was sick on his other glove. I don't know.
I didn't even want to go there.
Yeah. Let's test out this new one, because it doesn't look like he had the same glove on. I think he had a brown glove earlier. Yeah, he's adjusting this one.
So the leadoff man eventually will be Hanley Ramirez. He's 0 for 2 with a couple of groundouts tonight. Then Jackie Bradley and Chris Young against Paxton, who so far has I think pitched one of the more impressive games of the year against the Red Sox.
He's attacking. I mean, I would probably say 85% of the pitches, his first pitches he's coming right down the middle. Early in the game, he was on the edge of the plate. Now he's going right at him.
0-2.
I like Vasquez, his release right here. It seemed like he had a really good jump, and he just did not outrun that ball. That is a fantastic throw. I mean, it's quick right here. Great footwork. Boom. It's out and gone.
Little bloop shot. That's going to drop down for a base hit for Hanley. So he is on to begin the 7th inning for the Red Sox. And that is the first time tonight the Red Sox have had the leadoff man on in an inning.
Well, let's see if things have turned in our favor.
And we'll send up Jackie Bradley, who struck out and singled. Sox now with 3 hits against the left-hander. And he'll take strike 1.
Hanley's not too giddy about getting off first base. His lead is not very far off the bag.
Ground ball and right past Cano, trying to make a sliding stab. Hanley around second, heading into third. The throw by Heredia, backed up at third base by Seager, and they're safe on the corners.
It was a great read by Hanley going around second base. When it saw the ball right past Cano's glove, he turned it on going into third base. Because that ball's not very deep. He had a chance to be thrown out.
I think it's an above average effort play by a second baseman, but we've seen Dustin Pedroia make that play many times.
Absolutely. Robbie Cano usually makes that play. Maybe it was just sharply hit harder than we could really see. I'm not sure exactly how to say that. Doesn't sound very good coming out.
It got through.
Yeah.
And we'll bring up Young. Chris Young's popped up and struck out, so back-to-back hits. Nick Vincent warming up in the bullpen for the Mariners. Well, first time they have required anybody in the pen to warm up. 94 pitches coming up now for Paxton. And he'll take ball one.
I wonder if they had to wake the guys up in the bullpen.
Well, he had been sailing pretty much for 6 innings. Last inning, an error and a single, but then he had back-to-back strikeouts to get out of that. Fly ball along the line. Haniger to chase it, but off into the seats.
Well, we got a guy in scoring position last time, and he seemed to get a little bit tougher going and relying on that slider down and away to keep guys from hitting the ball, putting it solid play.
The 1-1. Right through there. A ball and 2 strikes, and again that velocity when he needs it is there.
And location to go along with it. I mean, those 3 pitches are they're no picnic. I mean, they're perfect pitches. You can't do a whole lot with.
And the scoreboard in center field just went out. The gigantic scoreboard has gone black.
Wow.
And some lights as well.
Maybe their power outage will be our power surge.
1-2. And in there, strike 3. Caught him looking. Boy, that's a very, very tough pitch.
It is a very tough pitch. He's seen 3 prior to that, though. I mean, you got 2 strikes. Take a shot. I mean, try to foul it off, something. I know he's not real happy with himself, but dang. He threw 4 quality pitches right there on Chris.
1 gone for Marrero. He's had trouble with Paxton tonight. 2 strikeouts for Devin. Ramirez at third, Bradley at first, and a slicer foul for strike 1. Tomorrow 9:30, don't miss Red Sox Game Day Live presented by DCU. DC Tim Wakefield and Lenny DiNardo will preview tomorrow's matchup of Drew Pomerantz against Felix Hernandez. DCU is Digital Federal Credit Union. What can DCU save you? That disappeared, that curveball, and it's 0-2.
Yeah, that's a pretty devastating curveball. But he just proved that he could throw it for a strike rate against Chris Young. So Devin honored it and tried to put a good swing on it.
And the 0-2. He buried that one, stopped by Zunino. You've got to throw that pitch with full confidence your catcher is going to stop it.
Absolutely. And as many times as you work on it in bullpen and spring training, you better know that this guy's going to stop this ball. Because with Hanley on third base, that's a definite run if it squirts by him.
1-2. And he missed with that, according to the umpire. I think Marrero may be very grateful he's still alive here.
Absolutely. He's been giving him that edgy pitch all night. And then now he kind of closes the door on him. Wow.
The 2-2. And he's filled up the count. Paxton, as mentioned, has not walked anyone.
Maybe we can be. This will be the first thing. We'll break up that shutout.
He struck out 10. First and third, though. And the 3-2 to Devin Marrero. Ground ball to shortstop. Segura got one there on the first and a double play. 6-4-3, and Paxton who is pitching a brilliant game, is out of the inning. 4-0 Seattle. Nothing to the Mariners. And you can visit NESN.com/fantasy for the latest news, lineup advice, and more on your Yahoo Fantasy League. I just love playing the Fantasy League. I know you do.
Oh, yeah. I think I have a team.
You think you have a team?
Yeah, it's I got it right before never.
Workman working into his second inning. Top of the order, Segura, Valencia, and Cano. And Segura, one of the more pesky leadoff guys in the game, has walked, doubled in a run, and been hit by a pitch. He was at home plate when Vasquez caught a runner trying to steal last inning.
Good cutter right there. You know, he's got a fairly short stroke. I mean, I know he's a pretty strong kid, but fairly short stroke, and he hits the ball pretty well.
He does have a bit of power. He's hit 6 home runs. He hit 20 last year.
That's pretty good.
You get a crowd in the area of 30,000 tonight. They're expecting about 40,000 for Game 2.
Well, everybody, has heard you're in town, so they're going to come.
Thank you. I'm a little embarrassed to admit that, but thank you. Really big here in the Great Pacific Northwest, and that bounces to the plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Heard that about you. They were talking about that at the Pike Market. Something about fish.
Sure. Well, that's they go hand in hand. But look at that view. I mean, it's just lovely here.
I see things like that in Colorado. It's fantastic. We don't have the tall towers right there.
You get everything else.
Yes. Beautiful weather and big mountains.
1-2, a lunging pop up into right. Betts on the move. Mookie coming hard. He can't get to it.
That's a long way to go and a fantastic effort by Mookie right there. Yeah, he's way off. He's way off the line and still almost made that play.
Workman with a 1-2 to Segura. Not get him to offer. Valencia on deck. The man who could not find his glove.
Looks like he's looking at the dugout to make sure he keeps an eye on it, see where it goes.
The middle kicked and right to Pedroia. So off of Workman onto Pedroia and onto Ramirez for the out.
That's a kick save and a beauty right there, as we used to say.
A 1-4-3 out.
That's the way to use all your body, Mr. Workman. Anything to help out.
One out now. Valencia, who's gone 1 for 3 with an RBI double. Red Sox and the Angels played a very, very fast game yesterday. 2 hours and 13 minutes. This one has moved right along too. Sock foul. Unfortunately for the Red Sox, part of the narrative in both games has been the same thing. Not much offense.
Yeah, we're lacking in offense right now. I mean, it's not. I don't know. I know Paxton's. He's been tough, but we need to start putting a few more balls in play here.
0-2 and fouled off him.
Yeah, he's throwing strikes, so we have a chance to hit the ball. It's just we're not pulling the trigger at the right time.
Game 2 tomorrow night. Drew Pomeranz against Felix Hernandez. That's going to be a bit of a side story for Red Sox fans because it'll be the major league debut of Rafael Devers at third base. Left-hand hitter. And that's going to be a swing and a miss for strike 3.
Wow, that was an absolutely nasty disappearing breaking ball right there.
And tonight, after Red Sox coverage on NESN Sports Today, we have a full recap and post-game analysis of tonight's game, including post-game interviews. NESN Sports Today, presented by People's United Bank. See what know-how can do. Attendance tonight here in Seattle, 29,262.
Almost 30.
Taken in game 1. And now Robinson Cano hitless. He's gone 0 for 3. But Cano with 19 homers and 66 runs batted in. So he's had a good power year.
Well, I'd much rather just keep him silent tonight.
Little topper, and Hanley has that, and he'll take it himself to retire the side. Nice quick work there by Workman. We're at the end of 7, 4-0 Seattle. Brought to you by Toyota's website for deals. Buyatoyota.com. Plainridge Park Casino, 45 minutes from Boston. Subaru Retailers of New England, supplying all-wheel drive vehicles with a passion for summer travels. Franklin Sports, the official batting glove of Major League Baseball. And by Infinity, empower the drive. That boat is, there it is. It's a big boat.
The old ferry boat.
And here's the market where they throw the fish.
That looked just like my slider sometimes, just kind of hanging there.
Vasquez leading off the 8th inning. Vincent, the right-hander, coming on to replace Paxton, and the Red Sox are not going to weep over that because he shut the Red Sox down entirely.
Well, I don't think it's going to get any easier. I mean, this guy's coming in. He hasn't allowed a run in 38 of 43 appearances. So he's throwing the ball well, too. He's got a 2.01 ERA.
Paxton went 7. He struck out 10. No runs, 3 hits, and he didn't walk anybody.
Man.
He tossed 103 pitches. Vasquez went 0 for 2 against him. He has grounded out and flied out. Four runs, 6 hits for Seattle. No runs on 4 hits for the Red Sox. And the 0-2 is slap foul.
91 out. I know it says four-seamer right there, but that ball moved, you know, a good 2 or 3 inches. His ball moves a little bit, so it might be a little tougher sometimes to square that up. That's how I live most of the time, just trying to get him off just a little bit.
Oh, 2 to the Sox catcher. Now, if the Red Sox lose this one, they will drop to 5-7 since the All-Star break. And they would also lose their 3rd consecutive game.
Well, luckily, you know, they're going home
after this series.
After this series, and they'll be home for a little while, so they can get a little comfortable back at home.
But a loss here tonight, and the Red Sox would be even with the Yankees in the loss column, and would have a 2-game lead over New York, and it would remain 3.5 against Tampa Bay because the Rays did lose, but the Yankees are idle and they would gain a half a game.
True.
Not over yet here, but 4-0 Seattle.
We have a couple of innings to put some stuff on the board now.
And knock foul. Holt on deck, and then Mookie Betts.
And this guy coming out of the bullpen, you know, man, I know he's throwing the ball really well, and his confidence rides high, but he's not the norm in this era of relievers. He's not a mid to high 90s guy. He's more 90, 91, a little bit of movement and breaking balls.
Ground ball behind the bag, and Seager has good arm. One man gone. Let's go back to last inning, and so far tonight the Red Sox best chance to score.
Well, we got guys on 1st and 3rd here. We just got like just buzzard luck. I mean, he's making perfect pitches, and then finally gets a double play ball right here. He's jazzed about it, but we have zero luck going on right now.
Well, he pitched a great game. He pitched a terrific game, and there are those times you got to tip your cap to a guy who's going really well, as Paxton was.
Yes.
And if he wins tonight, he's 10-3 with an ERA probably well under 3 now. He's been their best guy. He's turned into the ace of their staff more so than King Felix or anybody else.
Yeah, he's been really consistent this year and just went and stayed in the same lane as he's been doing all year long and just shut us down.
Well, this is why Devers is here. The Red Sox offense desperately needs a jolt.
A little spark.
Cut on and miss. Brock Holt tonight 0 for 2. He's reached on an error by the first baseman and grounded to third.
Well, like we said, I mean, he's going to be making his debut against a pretty good pitcher. So hopefully he'll just relax, go up there and see Mr. Felix.
Popped up to center. And Segura backing up to snatch that, and there are 2 down. Time now for the Geico Red Sox moment honoring the 07 Red Sox World Championship. Game number 101. The Red Sox would lose 1-0 to Cleveland. Josh Beckett suffered the loss, so he pitched 8 innings of 4-hit baseball. The difference in the game was a Franklin Gutierrez 3rd inning home run. That was it.
Yeah. Josh threw the ball really well. I mean, I liked how he threw the ball. He got great curveball. I think sometimes he had too many pitches. You know, he had the 4-seam fastball. He had a little sinker, and you know, the changeup, and he tried to work a slider in there for a little while. But you know, we told him, dude, just keep it simple. And most of the time, he did. He was pretty confident in what was going on.
20 game winner that year.
Yes, he was.
You stay right here after the 3rd out of this inning for a special behind-the-scenes look at what happens in between innings. Mookie Betts 1 for 3 with a base hit. Sox have just 4 hits.
And this guy's just keeping us off balance here too. I mean, it's not like he's powering the ball right by us, but he's, you know, just off the edge of the plate, keeping guys. You know, if you bring it up out of the zone, change the guy's eye level, then you get to go back downstairs with a breaking ball or a changeup, and the guy's either not going to swing at it or he's not going to get a really good swing at it.
Benintendi on deck, and the 2-2. Fly ball into right. Henniger back on the track. He's there to make the play. That will retire the side. Red Sox go 1-2-3. Don't go anywhere. We stay in the park here in Seattle.
I think what makes the home base program not only important but fairly special is that it's literally saving lives every day.
You need to know that your efforts matters. PTSD robs you of hope, but home base gives it back.
Our country asks an awful lot of very few. I think recognition here from the thousands of runners that come back every year, that we all have a commitment, and making sure we show that same support and dedication to those who have done so much for us.
Who amongst you goes by the name Fenwick? Tell me, and the rest of you will be spared.
I am Fenwick.
I am Fenwick. I am Fenwick.
Hey Fenwick, have you seen my shield? This has got vertical stripes on it. Mine had horizontal.
By Xfinity, and here tonight in Seattle, it's been all Mariners. They're on top 4-0. They got a great pitching performance out of the left-hander James Paxton, as he went 7, 10 strikeouts, did not allow a run, didn't walk anybody. And Eduardo Rodriguez 5 1/3 for the second straight outing since coming back from the knee issue. Right now he's on the hook. Cruz with a fly ball, and Jackie Bradley over to get it. One pitch and one out here in the bottom of the 8th.
Mr. Pfister comes in and challenges the guy and saving pitches. I like it.
And now working out of the bullpen with a 7.89 ERA and 0-4 record. So Doug Pfister at the moment working out of the pen. And we'll get Kyle Seager here in a moment. Again, a loss here tonight for the Red Sox would drop them to 2 games over the Yankees. Going into play second game of the series with Pomeranz pitching and then Chris Sale to go in the last game of the series, the afternoon game here. And that'll wrap up the West Coast trip. Seager with a home run, a strikeout, a fly to left, 1 for 3. Home run number 14 for their third baseman.
Really good movement on that ball. I mean, it starts down the middle and it's moving way off the plate.
And the 2-1.
I always found it fascinating how starting pitchers can come down to the bullpen and just, and they don't really know how to warm up quickly, so they have to take their time and give them a little bit more, room to warm up, so to speak. And, then they just come into the game and they just throw that changeup for a strike. I mean, I struggled throwing a changeup forever. And it's just natural.
Popped up around home plate. Vasquez flipping the mask and 2 down. Don't miss a game, especially when the Sox are on the West Coast with multiple different start times. You can import the NESN Red Sox calendar into your favorite desktop web. You'll get automatic updates, game reminders, and much more. Visit NESN.com/schedule to import that schedule right now. Haniger is 0 for 3. Rookie right fielder takes a strike. Did you heat up quickly?
I did. It usually took me 13 pitches to get ready.
You knew exactly how many and you were ready to go most of the time.
Most of the time, yes. Had it down to, a couple of 4-seamers, a couple of 2-seamers, a couple of sliders. Tried to throw a changeup, go back to the 2-seamers, ready, done.
0-2. Boy, that becomes a great thing for a manager to have a guy who worked as much as you did and got ready that fast. You're into the game like that.
Correct.
Becomes a serious weapon. Gently hit, and Marrero will sling it on to get him, and that's a 1-2-3 inning. We are headed off to the 9th inning. Another fast game here so far tonight, but Seattle on top 4-0. Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. There's been a struggle tonight for the Red Sox to score, just as it was yesterday, and there have been a lot of pockets of that this season, although the Red Sox continue to lead the division. And plenty of Sox fans here hoping for a miracle here tonight. It's going to be Benintendi, Pedroia, and Hanley Ramirez up against the right-hander David Phelps. He was acquired from Miami on July 20 for 4 minor leaguers. Over his last 37 games, he has a 2.11 ERA, and the league is batting .189 against him in that span. So he's been very good.
Yes, I just don't understand, what in the world and why we have gone so cold as a team.
See his numbers with the Marlins in 44 appearances. Benintendi 0 for 3. Andrews struck out twice and he's grounded to second. Red Sox offense in desperate need of a jolt, and they hope it's coming from the 20-year-old Rafael Devers, who will make his major league debut tomorrow night against Felix Hernandez. Certainly hope you'll join us for that. One of the top prospects in baseball. He barely spent any time at the AAA level. He's hit 20 home runs with 60 RBIs between AA and AAA. That's up the middle. But Segura will gun to get him. 1 away. For every Red Sox home run this season, Speedway donates $500 to the Boston Children's Hospital. And now through the end of July, use your Speedy Rewards card when you purchase any size fountain or frozen drink for 69 cents and get an entry code to win a VIP experience. And a young man right there.
We only need a really, we're talking about, you mentioned the jolt. We only, need a jolt the past couple of days. I mean, we've been hitting the ball really well. But, we're getting this guy to relax. We don't want to put too much pressure on him, trying to hit home runs. Or I just want him to be himself, enjoy the game.
I'd like him to hit home runs.
Well, I
got to tell you.
I can't.
Red Sox disagree with last in that category in home runs. It's been a huge void.
But from what we said earlier, you want the kid to just get up here and play the game. And if he relaxes and he plays the game the way he's been playing the game, in Pawtucket and Portland, he's going to do really well.
There's a lot of talent there. But make no mistake, I mean, the Red Sox are making this move believing he will have an impact on the offense. It's not about playing great defense at third base. This is about him hitting. This is about him showing up and doing something close to what maybe Benintendi did when he came up last year, although I would say with more power. And otherwise you make a trade.
True.
For a veteran. And probably do it now, obviously by the deadline. The Red Sox have determined they would rather go this route, and down goes Pedroia as he strikes out, and they're 2 away. I think there's a big difference if you're up by 7 or 8 games and you promote a youngster and you go, hey, no pressure at all. They want him to go and play loose and have fun and produce the way he's capable of. Let his talent rise to the top.
Well, those go hand in hand. I mean, if you're loose and having fun,
sure,
you're going to produce. If you're tight,
sure,
we've all been there. You sometimes just fall on your face.
Well, at 20 years old, I think you never know until you see it at the big league level as Hanley gets in. But 20 is a tender age to be playing in the major leagues.
This year, he is absolutely the youngest guy that's going to be active on the roster. But I don't know the man's substance yet. But if he has good substance, 20 years old doesn't really make a difference.
And I think the fun part will be finding out what he is made of.
Absolutely.
It always is with a talented young guy.
Just to see what he's capable of doing.
But he can hit. And that is in there for a strike on Hanley, who's gone 1 for 3 tonight. 2 down, bases empty in the 9th. 4-0 Seattle.
Watching a little batting practice today, he has a really nice swing. He does. I mean, left-handed swings for some reason just seem more beautiful than right-handed swings.
Don't they?
I don't know why.
So true.
and left-handed pitchers look more awkward than right-handed pitchers.
And that is in there for strike 3, and that's the ball game. And the Red Sox wind up with only 4 hits as they are shut out here tonight by a final score of 4-0. James Paxton went 7. He struck out 10, and it took only 2 hours and 40 minutes. Let's toss it back to TC and Adam, and guys, really looking forward to tomorrow night and the major league debut of Rafael Devers.